He was a musical icon, a cultural phenomenon, and a true American original. He was the king of rock and roll. Elvis Presley was born in Tupelo, Mississippi on January 8, 1935. From a young age, he displayed a natural ability and love for music, specifically the gospel and blues styles that were prevalent in his hometown. Despite his humble beginnings and growing up in poverty, Elvis was drawn to the musical sounds he heard in church and on the radio, and he quickly became fascinated with music. He started to learn the guitar and would sing at local events and church gatherings. Even at a young age, his talent for music was evident, and people were drawn to his captivating performances. This early exposure to music and his natural talent set the stage for Elvis's future as a legendary performer and one of the most influential figures in the history of popular music. As Elvis Presley grew older, he started to take his passion for music more seriously. He began to perform on local stages and quickly gained a reputation as a talented and charismatic performer. His unique style, which blended elements of gospel, blues, and country music, captivated audiences, and he quickly gained a following. He began to appear on local radio shows and entered talent competitions, winning many of them. With each performance, Elvis's confidence grew, and he became more comfortable on stage, developing his signature moves and style. His early success paved the way for him to pursue a career in music and set the stage for him to become one of the most famous and influential musicians of all time. Elvis Presley's musical journey reached a pivotal point in 1954 when he made his first recordings. His unique style caught the attention of many, and he quickly gained a following. Elvis's musical talent and charming stage presence made him a standout performer, and he was soon asked to appear on the Louisiana Hayride radio program, where he performed regularly. His growing popularity also led to TV appearances on shows like The Ed Sullivan Show, which gave him a wider audience and helped to further cement his status as a rising star in the music industry. With each performance, Elvis's popularity continued to grow, and he soon became one of the most sought-after musicians of his time. As Elvis Presley's fame continued to skyrocket, he became renowned for his energetic and electrifying stage performances. He had a magnetic stage presence that captivated audiences and set him apart from other performers of the time. His music was like nothing that had ever been heard before, and people were drawn to his sound and style. He was known for his powerful voice, his signature moves, and his ability to connect with audiences. Elvis's concerts were filled with energy, and his performances were a true spectacle, with fans often leaving in a state of excitement and awe. His live shows became a major draw, and he was soon performing in sold-out arenas and venues all over the country. Elvis Presley was drafted into the United States Army on March 24, 1958, at the height of his musical career. He was stationed first in Texas and then in Germany, where he served as a regular soldier for 2 years. During his time in the Army, Elvis was considered a model soldier and was respected by his fellow soldiers and superiors. Elvis's military service was a significant turning point in his life and career. He was away from the bright lights of the entertainment industry for the first time in years, and he had the opportunity to reflect on his life and his music. He also met his future wife, Priscilla Beaulieu, while stationed in Germany. Although Elvis faced some criticism from fans and the media for leaving his musical career to serve in the Army, he was proud of his service and considered it a patriotic duty. He was honorably discharged from the Army on March 5, 1960, and he returned to the United States as a more mature and focused artist. In many ways, Elvis's military service helped to shape the course of his life and career. His time in the Army also had a profound impact on his personal life, as he met his future wife and began to forge a new identity as a more confident and self-assured artist. Elvis Presley's discharge from the Army marked a new turning point in his career. He returned to the United States with a clearer vision for his future. Despite this newfound focus, however, Elvis continued to face many challenges and obstacles in his personal and professional life. One of the most significant changes in Elvis's music during this time was the incorporation of gospel, R&B, and rock and roll elements into his sound. He had always been influenced by these musical genres, but during his time in the Army, he had the opportunity to explore them more deeply and incorporate them into his music in new and innovative ways. In addition to his musical pursuits, Elvis also began acting in films in the 1960s. He appeared in a number of successful films, showcasing his musical talent and good looks. These films helped to solidify his status as one of the biggest stars in the world. Elvis Presley appeared in over 30 films throughout his career, ranging from musicals to dramas. Despite some early criticism from film critics, his movies were extremely popular with audiences. Elvis was known for his charismatic personality and charming demeanor, which shone through on the big screen. He was often cast as the leading man in his films, showcasing his good looks and acting skills. He was able to captivate audiences with his natural charisma and easygoing charm, making him a popular figure in the world of entertainment. In addition to his dramatic roles, Elvis was also known for his sense of humor. His movies often included comedic scenes that helped to lighten the mood and bring a smile to his fans' faces. This added an extra layer of appeal to his movies, making them even more enjoyable for audiences. Overall, Elvis Presley's film career was a significant part of his legacy and helped to further establish him as a cultural icon. However, despite his success, Elvis struggled with personal demons, including depression, loneliness, and addiction. He was often described as a sensitive and introspective person, and he struggled to cope with the constant attention and scrutiny that came with being one of the biggest stars in the world. He was also under constant pressure from his fans, the media, and his record label to maintain his image as the king of rock and roll. Personal romantic life. Elvis Presley's personal life was marked by both fame and tragedy. Despite his worldwide popularity, he faced many challenges and hardships, both in his personal and professional life. Elvis was married to Priscilla Presley from 1967 to 1973. The couple met when Priscilla was just 14 years old, and Elvis was serving in the Army. They had one daughter together, Lisa Marie, who was born in 1968. The marriage was tumultuous and the couple eventually divorced in 1973. Throughout his life, Elvis was known for his love of women and had many romantic relationships. He was linked to several high-profile actresses and models, but his personal life was often overshadowed by his fame and the intense media scrutiny that came with it. In addition to problems in relations with women, Elvis also had a drug addiction. His addiction was a significant part of his personal life and contributed to his early death at the age of 42. He first started using prescription drugs in the 1960s as a way to cope with the stress of his demanding career and the pressures of fame. However, over time, his dependence on drugs grew and became a serious problem. Elvis was initially prescribed drugs for various physical and emotional conditions, including insomnia, chronic pain, and anxiety. He became heavily reliant on prescription drugs, particularly sedatives and painkillers, and eventually developed an addiction to these substances. The drugs caused various health problems, including digestive issues and high blood pressure. The combination of drugs and poor health took a toll on his body, and he struggled with weight gain, fatigue, and various other physical problems. Despite repeated attempts to kick his addiction, Elvis was unable to overcome his dependence on drugs. He continued to struggle with his addiction until his death in 1977, which was caused by a heart attack brought on by his drug use. Elvis Presley's death on August 16, 1977 marked the end of a legendary career and a loss to the world of music and entertainment. Despite his untimely death, Elvis's legacy has continued to live on and inspire millions of fans around the world. One of the most significant ways that Elvis's legacy has been preserved is through Graceland, his former home in Memphis, Tennessee. Graceland was purchased by Elvis in 1957 and was where he lived until his death in 1977. Today, Graceland is one of the most visited homes in America and is a must-see destination for Elvis fans from all over the world. Visitors of Graceland can take a tour of the property and see the various rooms, including the living room, the dining room, and Elvis's bedroom. They can also see Elvis's impressive collection of cars, motorcycles, and other memorabilia, as well as his famous jungle room. The tour provides a unique glimpse into Elvis's personal life and the world in which he lived. In addition to Graceland, Elvis's music continues to inspire and entertain fans around the world. His recordings have been re-released in various forms, and his songs have been covered by countless artists in a wide range of genres. His influence on popular music can be heard in the work of many contemporary musicians, and his music remains as popular today as it was during his lifetime.